Blog Talk Radio.
Aloha! Gaia Sophia Dreaming, Mike here. Thank you all for tuning in with the heart. Much love, much gratitude. Big thanks. So if you'd like to call in today, the guest call-in number is 347-850-1929. You can go to Blog Talk. You can Skype in, do the little Skype dance, hit 1 on your dial, and you can let me know if you want to chime in. Please feel free to do, because heartlines are always open. Because that's how Mom rolls, eh? Last time I checked. We might have, in a way, closed our signal to her, but she never closed hers to us. And talk about why we're alive. The love that was always here, beating in our hearts, and flowing through our veins, the air we breathe, and, you know, just all that goodness that we share and we take for granted. And it's a funny thing. Now, when you tune in with your heart and you realize these things in the natural flow, you don't take these things for granted anymore. You take them for, because you realize the true gift that it is. And with this, when you do this, when you feel this, the love starts flowing. We'll use that word, it starts flowing, but it's always been flowing. You start tuning into that ever-flowing love. And wow, it's here. So it's no longer an external thing or even an internal, because that script gets flipped where you realize there's no more inside and outside, that it's not a duality you're living in anymore. It's not a false light paradigm that you're acting in, that now it's true living. And with that, what comes a whole lot, actually. And that, again, like I said, then many times we discount it again. But let's not discount this. Let's not discount the air we breathe, the water we drink, what else do we have flowing naturally and abundant that we just, oh yeah, that's just here. We take it for granted. And when we know we don't take it for granted, that we tune in with our hearts and we resonate with that air and the water, and we're tuning in with the love that is inherent in all the elements and all the things that you do. So you can feel this love also and start resonating with it more. Increase that amplification through that frequency band. Watch the vibrations send out. And you feel it. And that's what's here for us, because it is a free-flowing. Love has no restrictions. Truth has no lies. Truth has no owner. No one owns the truth. And if you truly need to, and it becomes not even a question of need, all is in the heart. So if you have a question, tune in with your heart. That's where the solution lies. If you have a problem, tune in with your heart. That's where the solution lies. So it's a beautiful thing. When you're no longer searching outside yourself thinking, that's where all the answers are, ain't they? It's in this book, it's on this website. got to have this information, got to go there. No, that was the old programming telling you you need to do something. That was somebody else telling you you need to do something, otherwise you're a slave to the system. And like this, you're caught into the old paradigm, the dualistic way of thinking, the mind control loop, like the bad song, pop song stuck in your head. But then you're projecting this out and you're looking like, yeah, this is the way the world is, isn't it? No, that's the way people are acting at the moment still. But it's okay. We're all gonna clear this up because we got heart. And as we all tune in with our heart, we drop those old roles associated with the false paradigm, the dualistic way of thinking, the sense of separation. That all falls away. And what are you left with? You're left with the whole. You're left with all. Isn't that funny? Isn't that beautiful? It is. So again, if you'd like to call in, the guest number is 347-850-1929. You can go to GaiaSophiaDreaming.org. Links to some archives, some images, the earth. I feel blessed to have been shared with, that I can share with you. And me. And with this ever-flowing love that we're all in, and the more you tune in quite naturally by going outside, being in the heart, not thinking that there's something outside of you that controls you, is a problem you can't handle. Because this is the fear-based thinking that traps you into that old paradigm that you then project onto the whole world and think it's like this. And that's not the truth. Maybe for your reality, maybe for your immediate environment. And what we're sharing is, quite naturally, the poison we spread to others is going to stop, because you just can no longer spread lies and disinformation and distortion. There's no longer a frequency to tune in to do that. And if you're continuing doing it, it's a mind loop in your brain, in your head, in your mind actually, yes. That keeps running and running and running, and you scream louder and louder. You moan and complain and bitch and come up with the next problem, or this is the problem, this is what everyone's got to do. And no one has to do anything in the truth of the matter, because everything contains inside of them. So even when I say tune into your heart, in terms of an action step, it's really, well, how do you do that? Well, you just be you. And here you are, in your clarity, for you now to look, if you so choose. But you won't look in that old way of seeing problems, because you'll know the solution is always here. And you won't look at others like they have a problem, because you know the solution exists for them also. So like this, hey, welcome home. So, Aloha. Got a few lines open here.
Aloha.
Hey, Alvita.
Hey.
Yeah, so I woke up this morning to, your show's canceled.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what?
I'm like, hey, Alvita, did we not have this conversation, you and me? What they're going to try and do? what they're going to try and do, and you're like, here comes the waters of truth right now. If you can hear it.
Right.
That's for sure. And we were laughing, right? Because we know in our hearts what's up. Because, we're tuned in with the earth, and she shared with us. Said, Michael, no fear here. Here we are.
Yep. Like, okay.
Okay, exactly. Okay. Can you
Thank
say
for that.
okay? Is your goat gotten?
Yep.
Like, okay. Did anyone have the heart to pick up a phone, ET phone home, and call me personally?
Yeah.
No. Did I reach out
Wow.
the hand and say, hey, yes, here I am? Or, hey, why don't you share with one of the friends and you can just clear this air because that's what family does.
Yep.
Nope,
Exactly.
none of that. Alvita, eh?
Wow, we wasn't
So
welcome
just,
home, huh?
we're in love, we're home, in the heart.
Yep. Home is where the heart is. Wow. Ooh, wow.
Isn't it? It's what's the old saying? Life waits for no one. Because you're living anyway, so how could it?
Exactly. Oh, man. Oh, Lord, I'll be tickled about that all day.
And you know what, Alvita? They didn't bother to ask me yesterday when I tried to, hey, let's get this, until I, go to start the show this morning. I'm like, oh, shoot. Oh, yeah, that old channel has been closed naturally, Mike. Gaia Sophia doesn't want to flow through that corporatized fiction. We're free, as we say, and why would we be? This is open source. Anyone wants to make a copy of this show and put it on their network, please feel free to do it. You don't need my permission. You don't need to ask me, what would you like? What can I do for you for this? Whatever you feel in your heart to return to me or anyone is your choice. So let it flow free. Aloha.
Aloha. Did Janet make it?
Not yet.
Okay.
I don't know if she checked her internet this early. Because she usually calls in on the phone, and so I have a chance to give her a bell just to give her a heads up. I'm sure she'll find her way.
Right.
She's in the heart always.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Hello.
My ohana.
How do you like me now? So, I mean, if you read the Oracle report, hey, Colleen, do you read the Oracle report at all? It's one of the
do.
lovely...
I didn't today. I didn't see it today yet. Okay.
When we speak about the wisdom goddesses in Kali Ma, and I share with you my story from where I lived before and the deep love I have with her, and when my mom, and I really share that with my heart, and, the word, Colleen, as you're well aware, for me to express the deep feeling I have to even put words to this relation that we all share, we know it's love. And if you're familiar with Kali Ma,
Oh, yes.
Goddess Supreme.
Mm-hmm.
And what she does for all. Well, welcome to my world. This is our world. This is where no harm is no longer caused to yourself or to another being. Because in the true nature of the wisdom goddesses, they have the utmost love and care and honor for you, and always have. And inside of this, they also don't take no shit from no one. Mom never did she? You might think you are, as you're doing these bad, so-called bad things to the earth, to yourself, and to one another. Mom's always watching. She knows exactly what's happening on. She's sitting there going, yep. And then the moment comes when enough's enough. And she's like, cleaning house now. If you're in the way, you're getting swept right away, right with it, right with the broom and all the other dust, debris, and distortion. You're going to go right with it. You're pure energy. You got no fear that what happens to you. Mom's giving care to you. What do I got to fear? You're with Mom's love. So this is how I feel for all, including me. So Kali has the most beautiful what she shares most beautifully is she when you notice Colleen, as in Alvita, I don't know if you've ever seen images, and all who are tuned in with Gaia Sophia dreaming here, you'll see around her belt, so to say, around her waist, all the severed heads, right? And then you see all around her feet, all the severed heads. You'll see this imagery. This is the ego, Colleen. This is the ego that she's holding. She cut.
Chop.
Chop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's the chop. She's the chopper. Chop it all off.
Yeah.
Chop that ego.
And that's what she does.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
This is what I'm sharing for how long? Weeks and weeks. This is how we clear the fear. This is who we've been doing it with, and with all you lovely ladies in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this is what's been happening. So quite naturally, when we shared from the heart on Saturday, and my mom came on, Colleen, you might want to have a listen back to that show. My mom came on, and it was truly magical. And it was on it was my mom's, my second sister's birthday on Saturday, and my mom called into the show. Because, you know, I'm her kid, right? I'm her baby still.
Yes.
And we share about that. In a mother's eyes, in a mother's true eyes, she always sees her children as children. She doesn't care how old you might be, right? You're always her child because you're always in her heart. Do you get that? It has nothing to do with age. And as we were sharing, my mother was sharing with me again, Michael, do you see me now? I'm at your door. Imagine it, Michael. Because we want to be together. We don't want, this is the dream of a child, man. We want to be next to Mom. Boom, we're next to Mom. No planes, trains, automobiles, all that old ways we thought we got around. And so that beautiful sharing in the heart, it was so magical. I was just so thankful. So all the drama that ensued after that, Colleen, I knew. I said, let's see whose ego needs clearing. Let's see who attacks Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see who, without even listening to the show, starts bearing false witness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are. So I don't even want to go in because we've moved light speed past that already. Beyond the speed of light, in the heart, and so much has been happening, Colleen. Wow, you know it. Having the last, I mean, things have been flowing full on, and it just got even more full on. In terms, I'm like, wow, really tune in with the heart space, and the love is just pulsing. It's like, you know it can't be contained, and it isn't contained. It's just, I'm watching it just like, overflowing now and just permeating all realities. And I'm like, hey, if anyone's still attached to that false wounded ego, I'm the martyr. And then somebody else steps up to try and share their story. No, only one martyr at this table, or two martyrs, the one in the background who puts that one up there, and if anyone comes up, she attacks. That gets the scorpion sting out and sticks it in you, and then smiles like she's all love. I'm like, yeah, you whore Babylon. Yeah, I know you. Take it out. Yeah. So, Connie, this is our first dance, eh?
Yeah.
Because I'm laughing. I'm like, oh, they're like, hey, Mike, there's another one you didn't see that they tried to stick into you. And I'm like, oh, right here, too? And I'm laughing. Before you know what I would do, I would pull it out and I would stick it right back into the being who gave it to me. Right? And now I'm laughing. I'm like, Mom, what do you want me to do with this? Yeah, they try. Oh, my. It's like, I can just give it back to me. I know what to do with it. Thanks, Mom.
Yep. Okay.
And,
I didn't know what you were saying about the show this morning, that it was canceled.
Yeah, I got kicked off the CMR.
So how are we on here now?
My love, we're always in the heart, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah. That's right.
I said this is beyond the show, isn't it? This ain't no show. This isn't no...
This is wild. This is wild, yeah. All through the night, I just laid in my bed, and there was an owl. And I was listening to the owl. And then a little further in the distance, there was another owl, and they were answering each other all night. And my mind was just whirling and whirling. It was like the whirling dervishes. And like the left and right brain just swirling, and then I came outside in the blackness of Mama in her womb, and just laid in the blackness on the grass with the crickets, and just so much was coming up for me, and it kept coming back. It just kept coming back. Go to the core. Go to the love. Go to the heart, which is always here. And this morning you said love is always here, Mike, at the beginning. And I wrote it as love is always HEAR. And as soon as I wrote that, a crow cawed so loud. I was muted out, thank goodness. Yeah, and so it was just...
So you can call all they want.
But yeah, the Kali Ma, Mahakali. See, this has been my name my whole life. Kali was my nickname for Colleen, so it was always Kali. And then, of course, in my spiritual groups and my spiritual names, 3 different times was Kali Ma, Kalika, and Kali Deva.
So Kali, you know this. And this is when I truly tuned in with the heart of Kali Ma. She was the most, and this is why she's the most loving, kind being that I know. Because she was the one who came, this energy, this divine source, when all hope was lost, when all was basically, and if you go back into the stories, into the Veda, you'll catch some of these stories. She was the one who came and saved all. She was the one that when none of the gods could defeat the demons, so to say, it was Kali who came, Kali Ma who came and did it. So she's and people usually, but she's the destroyer. And it's like, no, she destroyed all that needed to be so the creation could bloom. So you could see so people focus on one aspect of it. And it's like, well, why did she have to? destroy? Why is she give like this image? Because I went beyond that action. I realized she did it out of pure love for all of us.
Mhm.
And that just, I look and I'm just like, I see the most beautiful being. I'm like, oh, Mom, thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So yeah, some people have this image of her, as this like terrifying being, bloodthirsty. I'm like, oh, it's quite the opposite and more.
Mhm.
She's got such a true divine nature. Her heart is so pure. And what she does is for all of us. And that is, what she does is for all of us without question. That is really, that's love, eh?
The true mother.
Yeah. So yeah, here we are in the heart. You can go to Blog Talk Radio, Gaia Sophia Dreaming. There's a new link up there. And so I woke up this morning, okay. Thanks for giving me a heads up. But I already had one, and I thought, Mom, you want to flow this? For sure. For sure. Mike, new vistas are open. New platforms are open for all, not just for a few to line their pockets, to massage their ego. And, we'll share that for another moment if clarity needs to be brought to that situation, but we've moved on.
You know what else was really coming to me, Michael, too, through the night was we're hearing over and over and over about, Stockholm Syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was thinking is, yeah, and there's so many layers to that, too, because we're always, what we think of the Stockholm Syndrome, we think of, the bad guys, right? Like there's good and bad. Well, there's the Stockholm Syndrome that comes with the smiling face and the your best friend, right?
Yep.
That they that kind of like that wolf in sheep's clothing. So the deceivers are everywhere, and and discernment is at the highest now. At the same time, being in your heart. So this is what we're being called for, to see that Kali Ma so love. She just is such, emanates love, and at the same time she chops all those smiling faces that don't have love at heart. They are love. They just don't. They're just not connecting into that, right?
Yes, exactly. It's their choice.
Yes.
Now, we can't say they're not connecting into it. They're choosing not to.
Yes.
And with that, I'm like, well, that doesn't continue anymore. That's what I'm sharing. That ego doesn't run amok here anymore. Where because it's here. You're making a choice now whether to do this or not. It's not whether you arrived, whether you've made it, whether you have or don't have this. This is here. You're here, home in the heart. And now is your choice is whether you want to resonate here in the heart or not. And we know that by your actions. Like Colleen, are you smiling to someone's face as you're sticking the scorpion stinger in their back, which a lot of people do? Because, well, different reasons, but that's one aspect where it gets played out. I'm like, there's no more of that going on, because that's just, well.
As my mom always said, it all comes out in the wash. You know, you sit back in the silence and in your truth and grounded, and sooner or later, it comes out in the wash. The true colors are shown. I've watched it over and over and over on Facebook, on the different shows and table. It comes out in the wash eventually.
Oh, yeah.
It's fascinating to watch.
Yeah, and then it becomes like a car wreck, eh, Colleen?
Yes,
Enough.
yes.
Enough. We have all this beauty here to really start truly living. And we've been doing this. And that's where because we've been doing this too. You know, we feel it in the heart. We've been in nature a lot. So this other that people choose to do, I'm like, get it out. Well, one way or another, man, you're getting it out of your system because it's no longer resonating with truly living here. Plain and simple. So like that, so let's, I don't know who's got the BTR listener number. So we'll try and get a hold of that so a few others can call in. Alvita, you got the BTR listener number?
Yeah. No. Where would I get that anyway?
Did you Skype in? Did you Skype in?
Yeah.
And so if you Skyped in, it should be, it will be next to the number you're on right now.
I don't have it.
So we'll figure that out. So yeah, that's Colleen and Alvita, when I'm reminded, that's such a beautiful thing, isn't it? Because what we're realizing is the true nature of reality.
Mm-hmm.
And in the true nature of reality, is there any fear? There's no fear.
None.
No.
Nope.
And like that, I'm not laughing right now, but I know we're laughing.
You're kind of fading out a little bit, Mike. There you are.
Okay. Yeah, it's that I know we're laughing. That's what's here in the heart. As you realize there's nothing to fear, there's no more fear for you to buy into. It's the true laughter starts bubbling up. It just starts bubbling up. This is your true nature. You watch the tension and the stress just start leaving your body. It's just like running down your arms, running down your back, going to Mother Earth to be the pure energy that it is. No longer attached to these programs of separation and pain, or programs of separation that cause division, duality, distortion, and this is how we become light again. Naturally. That's how you become light. Because this is what you are, and this is what is flowing. And in more ways than one, you're like, wow, I feel lighter. My shoulders are loose. Wow, my head is floating freely, you know. And, I can take a deep breath again. Whoa.
Yeah.
And this is just a pure flow that's here for all. Quite naturally. So, let's look at this. This was a last moment jiggy-majiggy. So the BTR number is 029.
Okay.
So there's two ways you can do it. You can put it in, the way I do the BTR listener number is you can go to Skype and you hit the telephone pad where you would type in a number, Well, you just hit you hit the telephone pad. The telephone pad number comes up, and you go BTR listener. You spell that right out. BTR listener 029. I think I just said the right number. Yeah, 029. Thank you, Mark. And that's how you get in.
Hey, Mark.
This line. Let's open up Mark's mic here. And Alvita dropped off, so she'll get back in here in a moment. So, aloha, Mark.
Say it.
Aloha.
Aloha, Mark.
I'm back.
Aloha. Michael. Everyone.
Hello.
Aloha.
So, hey,
love.
Mark, laugh
love.
a little. Love a little.
No crying.
See,
Just
that's all
laughing.
That's what
Yes.
it takes. And we make this big mountain that you got to climb, I'm like, no. Seriously, it's the baby step. Laugh a little more. Love a little more. When you do these things, just add that penny to the piggy bank. They double and start multiplying exponentially. So the more you share a laugh, the more you truly share with your heart, just that little bit, just that smile that you just all of a sudden share with someone shares with you, that does worlds of wonders for yourself and all.
Don't need a book
That's
to
sweet.
do that, Mike, do you?
Nope.
Don't need to get a degree
Nope.
to
You
smile
don't need to be
and
some
laugh with somebody.
learned man who studied his ass off and knows all this esoteric knowledge. Nope. None
No fucking
whatsoever.
gurus there.
Nope. No one to, none whatsoever. Because we know the answer lies
Simple, isn't it?
the answer lies within everyone's heart. And it's unique to each individual. We've all come into this world with different paths to take, different lessons to learn, different things to remember. And for some, maybe all they had to do was enjoy the show, plant a garden this time. That's all their mission was, to plant a garden and smell the flowers. And that's what they did for all in that action.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
When other people are saying, you got to lose the name, you got to lose the game. And I'm like, yeah, that person, man, all he's thinking of is flowers and love. He ain't even thinking of, what do you mean? What name? You know what I mean? That one
Here
on
I
your
am.
life, or your birth
Well,
certificate.
you're saying that, and I'm over here at my rose bush smelling these beautiful, sweet little pink roses. There you go.
So true, Colleen. Because, I mean, you got to truly look at this. My mom, right? You got to think about this for grandmoms, really, and little kids. And we're like, yeah, but we're doing it. Well, let's just focus on the grandma. So you got to convince your mom. You got to try and convince your mom, you're not a legal name. You got to burn all your IDs, and otherwise, well, I don't know, Mom. Bunch of fear, they said. You tell that to your mom and see if that makes any sense to her. Your mom will laugh at you. Laugh at you, going, honey, wow, you're caught up in the details. You're part of all, right? You're supreme being. You why would you even? That's finished. That fictional reality is over. Why are you still picking that up? And I'm not, Mom. Thank you. I'm having fun, doing the true. That's just dreaming truth into reality and living that truth. And when we live that truth, we know more joy and laughter and love is shared. So if that ain't flowing in your daily life, I'm like, well, Michael, you've got only yourself to change it. There's no blame here anymore. You got yourself to choose to do these things. That is here for all of us, without focusing on, wait a second, what's this imaginary beast I keep calling up and saying that already it's finished, game over. We're living here in the heart now, but that's been pumped out there like it's the end-all or be-all. If you don't do this, well, game's over already, isn't it? Well, you lose your soul. Excuse me. My soul is eternal, and so is everyone. There's nothing to lose there. There's nothing to trap there. Keep your fear to yourself, please. That way Mom can help you relieve it. Relieve it, not relive it. Relieve it. Yeah. So let's do a quick shout out here. Thank you all for tuning in with Gaia Sophia. Guest calling number is 347. I was giving out the host number earlier. I'm so sorry. No, I'm not. Excuse me. The guest calling number is 347. That's why, Alvita. Thank you. Now, Alvita must have just sent me a telepathic heart message like, Mike, and then I just looked at it. Ooh. Thank you, sister. I gave the host number. I can change that. That was a little ditty. So, aloha, Borean's on the line.
Hey, good day. Aloha.
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 Just listening into the love show. I love the Mikey Love Show in the mornings. We are truly in the heart space, Mike. And here's proof. Last night, I went to a typical little jam session that I was supposed to show up to, where I play music with a bunch of guys and we have fun. Well, we decided to go to a concert instead. It turned out to be a Mushroom Head concert instead, and I just go wherever the universe takes me. Blah 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 blah. Well, anyways, I roll a few doobies for the show, and we show up at the show, and we're hanging outside just smoking, and I see a homeless couple sitting across the street listening to the show too, So I had one doobie left, so I got up and I walked over and I said, hey, you guys want to smoke a doobie? And they were like, yeah, of course, sure. And I sat there talking to them, and of course, when they saw where I was coming from my heart space, they were just astonished that some guy would just come walk over and talk to them like human beings, if you will. And anyways, we got to talk to him about the details and stuff, about the whole name game stuff, and basically they were so grateful and so happy to have met me, and that I just informed them of what's going on, and it was just wonderful, awesome conversation that I had, and it was just totally coming from the heart space, and we're there, ladies and gentlemen. We're moving past, like Mike said, we're moving past all the details. All the
we are there.
We're there. We're totally there. And me, I'm just ready to play again. I'm ready to live again. And I recently had an experience. Those of you that know me on Facebook know that my heart just exploded by a person that recently came into my life, and I just let it go. I didn't hold back at all, and I scared her away, but I don't care, because it was all heart. I was just, it was a torrent of gush. The Mama Divinity is back here, and she's cradling us, and she said to me that it's okay. Go ahead and just let yourself love. Let it all go. Let it all completely come out. And she purged me, man. It was wonderful. It was completely wonderful. And whether or not this person reflected back what I gave, it matters not. What matters is that I was able to give it, and give it completely. And I know that it's gonna come back to me. You know,
Yeah.
It has to. It has to.
And
But
think
anyways.
of that feeling, Borean, extending out to everyone. Everyone.
That's exactly it, Colleen. I was doing it for the all. I wasn't doing it for me. I was doing this for everybody. And this person in my eye, what she represented for me was truly the positive divine feminine coming back into the world. And I would have dropped everything to have been with this person just because I was doing it for the all. I was doing it for everybody. That this is how we're supposed to live. We're supposed to be in this heart space.
Yeah.
And not even question it. I didn't even question it. I just let it flow, and I just totally just let it go. Wherever it wanted to go, wherever it took me, I didn't care. You know, it's very emotional, very. I'm just astonished because with this shift that we have gone through here, I wasn't looking for love per se. There's no freaking way, man. I'm on a mission here. I'm on a mission here to spread truth and to spread love, you know, all over the world. The last thing I want to do is fall in love with somebody and that have to be a big distraction and of where I'm going here. But that's not how I looked at it. I looked at it, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for me to just gush and freaking let it go and let it fly. And so that's what I did. And it was an amazing, torrid 2 or 3 week love affair, and I'm telling you, it just even through text messages, lightning bolts were coming out of my fingers. You know, it was just it was just spectacular. And of course, you know, when you go up, you have to come down too. And I pretty much crashed just as hard as I went up, but it was wonderful. Like I said, it just purged me, and I didn't know that such a love was even possible. And it was me letting myself go in order to realize that. It was heavy and awesome, and to me, it's just further. That's what this person recognized or was to me. It's just proof the positive, divine, feminine mama is back. And you know what? She brought daddy too, because the positive, divine masculine is here to protect her so she can just create and be and flow and love without any restrictions, without any dams, without any hesitations. Just go back to that place where you're a little kid, that innocence, where there are none of these details. That when you fall in love, holy crap, you fall in love and you just let it go, and you don't care about details. You don't care, you know what I mean? It's just we have to go back to that innocence, to where you just let love guide the way. And I know there's probably people out there thinking that you know, well, the hippie movement failed, bro. Peace, love, and happiness failed, bro. No, it didn't. It's back in a different way this time. This time, it's back for good. This isn't a movement. This isn't a a march. This isn't a rights kind of thing. No, this is the spiritual, divine, positive feminine coming back into our universe for reals. And there's no stopping it this time. There's nothing anybody can do about it except do what you were meant and supposed to do, which is nothing. You were supposed to freaking do nothing. You were just supposed to be and allow yourself to be and allow it to flow. There's nothing you have to do here. All you got to do is just accept it and go with it. and it's awesome. I love it. I live every day of my life this way now, and I don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow, and I don't care because I have today, and today is all that matters to me, and this heart space is where we're headed, and Mike here at his morning show, he was so on the right track, and he was so transcending what we are learning on the evening show, and we're taking it from there, and here we are starting to live it, and we need to take it beyond just letting people know, hey, you know, guess what, your name's fraud, or hey, guess what, you're free now. We can go knocking on doors all we want, and we can go screaming in people's faces all we want, but it's not gonna do anything, because people aren't gonna start living it until you do. Once you start living it, they will start living it too. They're gonna want to. They're gonna want to be a part of it.
Oh, yep. Broke up a little there, Borean. Oh. Whew.
I think the key word there, Mike, was living.
Yep. Yep.
To be loved.
Yeah, he just got the line. He just got bumped. He'll be back in. He's always in. The love, be the love. Borean, you're so chew on, brother. Chew on. Thank you so much. And for all of us. And Colleen, as you were sharing that experience that Borean is sharing with us, isn't that's what's here? It's like you said, now share that with all. And he's like, yes, it's what it was doing. That's what it was. That was the flow. It's like,
actually, I said, take that feeling, that orgasmic, beyond physical orgasmic feeling of love, and just being that and feeling that with every single person. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to go out on a mission to spread this or do that. We be the love. We are the love. The love is here. The Divine Feminine has always been here. She's just silently and patiently waiting for those.
She ain't waiting anymore.
How to say it right? Yeah, she's always been here. It's not about she's waking up and she's been here. I mean, look around you. Look inside you. Look at each other. She is here and has been here. And I think I feel with Borean, and he had talked about the homeless people and took the, as he called it, the doobie over to him. And it wasn't even about the doobie, of course. It was about the love, and the homeless that I work with here and hang out with, and they say that the number one thing, it's not about giving them anything. It's about that their existence is acknowledged. That they are here. You walk by. It's that their life is acknowledged. The love, and that's the love.
Yeah.
Exactly, colleague. Exactly. We were talking about that on Monday on the show. I was talking about adopting homeless people. So that fits right in. Yeah. They have animal shelters. Well, they have people in shelters that people could adopt, you know, if they have extra room or something, you know?
Yes.
Love will get them there. Yeah.
I didn't hear your last thing you said, Alvita.
Oh, I said love will help them. You know, people
Yes.
go into their hearts. They can't
Yeah.
help but to help them, you know? Yep.
Hey, can you guys hear me again?
Yeah, yeah.
I got bumped.
Yeah, it was full flow, brother. Beautiful.
Yeah,
We're
it's all
talking
good.
about being the love, just to be, not having to go out and spread the word. If as like you did with the homeless people, you know, it was just about the love to be, and then everything will. If you, it's like it's like that. Kind of a cartoon, like when you're walking by and everything's kind of black and white, but as soon as you walk by, the colors and the flowers all burst and come alive with the love, just from your existence, just from you being in the love.
Yes, and they are doing that specifically for you too. It's all for you. Just because you walked by and noticed that they would do that for you. And yeah, you just have to. You don't, like I said, you don't have to do anything. You just have to be. You just have to be in that love space, and then things will just come to you. You will just, like thoughts will just pop in your head, like homelessness. I have a way to end homelessness, and I'm thinking of doing it. And the way we end homelessness is by using the knowledge that Kate gave us, and then combining it with love. And basically, what I might do, just to show my friends and to show everybody that this game is over. If there is an empty bank-owned house sitting somewhere, well, that bank-owned house is admittedly owned by a dead corporate fictional entity. So me being a living being, and I need shelter, and I need a house. Well, here's an empty one sitting right here. Well, I'm just going to move into it. Hello?
Yeah.
Homelessness will end. Just like that. Just like that. Just like that. And,
well, it's an interesting point. We were also sharing about homelessness. It's sometimes it's more than, it goes more than just having a roof over your head. It's
absolutely.
also, you know, as we tune into our heart, we see that, look, that's easy. And then we go, okay, there's plenty of housing for everyone, and it should be free. And the system's done. Everyone will have a roof over there if they choose, because
It's coming.
it's natural. And also in that is that when we looked at this idea of, well, why doesn't someone have a roof? And then many times it's because of so-called financial reasons. And we're like, okay, that's bullshit. Because that's the old paradigm. So everyone should have this. And then some people go, it's mental reasons. There's something wrong with them mentally, so they're choosing to be outside. Where's the love there to, you know, speak, to share with them, so they're no longer so-called living with demons in their head or crazy. You know, that's part of also when we talk about the homeless problem. That's the other aspect that we really need to look at. It's how we relate with each other. And how we know that is because we go, oh, you're homeless, you're living on the streets. But the true issue is, hey, man, this is about love. When we love one another truly in our hearts, we know there's plenty of houses, plenty of food for everyone. And then it's like we look at somebody, whether in a mansion or sleeping on a park bench, now they can truly be loved also. And because it's not just crazy people living on a park bench, crazy people living in $1 million homes, more crazy people living in mansions than there are in the street. Let me just put that one out there. Okay? So they all need this resonance in the heart so they can let those mental, let's just call it mental demons, be gone. That distortion, that distraction, just like we all are going through. It's like we separate beings out. It's like we're all going through this, tuning in with the heart, finally once again living here and truly home for all. And so like that, I'm really, my heart is smiling. My eyes are smiling, Boring, because I know that Mom is taking care of, Mother Earth is giving care to all. And as we know that game's over, it's happening. It's happening. Of course, everyone's going to have their basic needs given care to. But more than that, they're going to have their soul, they're going to have their spirit, they're going to have their being truly cared for again. And that's what it is. If you look at someone who's homeless on the street or sheltered in their house, they're going to finally feel that hug from Mom again, that true being back in Mother Nature's arm like a baby, and she holds you and coos with you. You're going to feel that deep love, nurturing love, that you are cared for, you are loved. That's what everyone's going to have, that feeling. That's what's going to be shared with all. And when you do that, man, things just melt. And that's what's here for all of us. So when I look at the homeless, I'm like, look, I can put them in the house as long as this economic system's still going. Man, as you know, it isn't, Borean, like you plainly said. Let's start showing people that it is game over, that we are living here, that it is true abundance. And so all these, what people would consider a problem, Borean's got a solution. There's so many solutions to all these perceived problems. And it all has to do with when we truly live in the heart. Look at all these things we can do. There's no problem. Look, there's abundance. What was your problem? Oh, here. What was your so-called perceive of lack? Oh, man, we got plenty of that. You need more, Mom. Mother Nature's always growing everything for us, right? So, I mean, where's the problem? So as we know, Babylon has fallen. It's finished. That's the old paradigm. It's still running around loops in people's heads because they haven't quite realized that, yeah, this is true living now. That's what we get to do. That's what's here for us, true living in the heart. And all these old, well, I'll just call them old, it's going to dissolve. All things that doesn't resonate with truth are dissolving. And that includes that whole economic system. That includes that all things connected to separation. They go hand in hand. It's not we get this and then that comes later. They all come hand in hand. As you resonate in the heart, quite naturally these other things will dissolve. And that's what, as Borean has so clearly reminded us, and I get the reminder, it's like we're all over in different parts here in the heart, and we're all getting the same reminder. It isn't like we all went to the, okay, let's read this book or listen to this to get this reminder. No, it's, as we said, here in the heart, nature, divine source is always sharing this message with you. Is always sharing this love with you. And with that, and truth. So, man, if you ain't a lovey-dovey type of guy, truth is always sharing truth with you. You're feeling, yeah, I believe in love. All right, you're going to know it soon enough, so like the rest of us. And like that, truth, you're cool with truth, though? I can use this word, truth? Okay, so the truth of all is here, and anything that doesn't resonate with that is going to fall. And if you're going to be ignorant here at the end and say, nah, and say this is truth, and you know it's a lie, well, I'm like, well, bye. That's all I got to do. Bye. Where you going? I don't know where you're going. Not near me. That's all I know. Not near Mom either. You're gonna go play in that sandbox over there with the other. I don't know. I don't. Let's talk about the true living that's here for all of us. So when I look at like some people that we would normally maybe classify as destitute, down and out, I'm like, wow, that's always been in my mind, that you cannot solve that problem economically. You cannot solve that problem politically. You cannot solve that so-called problem through any religious organization and spiritual organization. They tried. All those institutions and people working through those institutions have tried to help one another. Whether it's homeless, people with so-called mental disease, or other perceived problems, that assistance has always been here. But the old ways that people access that, or it was delivered, we know is just was never going to do the job, and hasn't. So we know that that isn't the solution. That it's just, well, there's another way. Then it's not that. Well, then how else do you do it? I'm like, well, yeah, that was the old system. That was, you either got it through some business, government, or church. Those are the three that provided the services. And that's kind of like the overlay over the natural system that's always here. Nature and every single one of us, sharing with the heart, freely, with no expectation is return, as Borean shared. Man, this love just flows. And what you said earlier, man, was so powerful in the heart. And as Kali, hey Colleen, as Kali reminded us, is now remember, share that with all. Because that's what really, you're doing it. And when you remember to do that even more, it's like you recognize that, and you just really amplify the resonance. Just starts humming more, because you've realized there's no separation. That's why it's shared with all. And then it no longer goes to one person, sucks that energy up, and then stops that energy. That's what happens, brother. It all of a sudden, instead of this, it's still flowing for all, but all of a sudden one person takes it as a personal thing, right? And as you were talking, it was a universal love. And I was expressing it with one, knowing that it's for all, but it's this very, I watch how it gets distorted. The energy, where did it get stopped in a way? And it was instead of being a free flow, someone turned it into an exchange. I was like, wait, this wasn't an exchange of energy. This is what love is. You tune in with it. It's not a possession anymore. It's not a personal thing you give and take. It's actually a field of resonance that you live in, truly live in. That's where you live. Otherwise, where you're not living, actually. You're working. You're thinking about living. You're sitting there just zoned out. And I don't mean in a good way. You're like, die. And so that's living. And when we tune in with the heart, and this is the huge part of it, and how now when we come into that energy where it's like really fully flowing, how do we keep that flowing? Where it doesn't now bring me on that roller coaster of love. Roller coaster of love.
Roller coaster.
What? Roller coaster. And Mom is like, you don't need that drama anymore, son and daughter. You don't need that. You can now tune into this love, and it doesn't need to now become an exchange rate with somebody. You love me. You love me. You love me. You love me not. We did it as a kid, picking flower petal leaves. I was just like, it's kind of weird. But I know it's the fear. It's the fear, that the love isn't here. And Mom says, she just, and sometimes, you want to know how to let Mom's fear just disappear, dissolve. You say to her, Mom, I always love you and always will. And if she asks you again the next moment, help her dissolve those fears. The sky is opening up here. I don't know. We are dissolving the fears in this moment for all and for Mom. This is Gaia Sophia. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, just like you said yesterday, Mama doesn't even want you to admit that you're wrong. She doesn't even want you to say you're sorry. She just wants you to acknowledge that you took the cookie out of the cookie jar. That's all she requires is just simple acknowledgement, and she will love you for it immensely.
Yeah. She is.
Yeah.
That's you going, yes, I do love you, Mom. Yeah. Because she's always flowing it, and she's like, you're doubting. You're doubting. So it's not that she's doubting. It's you're doubting that it's always flowing in here for you. So she's reminding you.
She is the cookie jar.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Can you guys hear the water flowing here, or do I need to mute out on my end?
You're good.
I'm sharing with you, the sky is opening. This is the merging of the elements. This is the merging of the pure, what we call, what is nature? It's the sky, the earth, the land, the water, the sea, the different names we connect with her. You know, air, water, earth. I always leave them out. Fire. This is the fullness of it, where all of a sudden the sky opens and you're like, oh, it's not just rain. This is nature, Mom, communicating with you. This is waters of life flowing. And we have this idea that, oh, it's just rain falling. I'm like, depends on which way you're looking. Well, I'm standing here. Right, if you were up in the clouds, it would, you know, you see the fullness of the cycle, right? And it's no longer a cycle, that the water's going up and down. And so when you can imagine this for a moment, the water is. And what you're seeing is like in the air, the air is merging with the water, and a raindrop appears. I'm like, that is just, for me, beautiful. That when you think of it, it's not just this, oh, well, the rain goes up and forms a cloud and it rains. I'm like, no, man, that's air and water coming into harmony, showing you that beautiful melding of pure love. And then it's in the earth, it's in us, it's showing you how this interconnected we are with what is. And then the air you breathe, the spirit you are also. And then you realize this, and then you connect with the greater all, soul. All is self. Self is all, where there's no boundaries. You are the universe. The universe is you. And you go, oh, thank you. Ah.
And you laugh and laugh and laugh.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, Pauline, the crows. And I just had a gecko. I got geckos here. They do it for me instead. It's like, yes, Mike. To give me that, you know. It's like nature. Well, it's the crows, it's the animal sharing with you, making a sound. Of course, it's a sound. It ain't just a random, you know, thing making a noise. It's nature. It's sound. And through the crow and through the gecko, many times you'll hear the confirmation. And it's like something you'll be not even thinking, something you're feeling. And in that feeling, words form. Not the same thinking. Words form. And you feel into them from your heart, and it's like, ah, yes, it's this. And you just see the simple clarity of it beyond the thought system. And then the crow calls, the gecko, I guess, I don't know what they call what a gecko does. The gecko barks. And it just gives nature giving, Gaia Sophia giving you that lovely confirmation. That love, not, it goes beyond a confirmation. It's just that in sync, just in tune. It's just like, yes. And so in this true living, then you look at the so-called problems of the world and you realize there isn't any. You realize that if you truly want to see so-called war or violence end in the mirage, in the charade that is still people acting in, it's by coming into your heart and living in the heart space and sharing that with all. Because that's what it is. It's been shared for eons. By you doing that, you're assisting another person to step out of their charade and come into their heart space. And then they help you. And you didn't have to tell them anything. You didn't have to say anything. You didn't have to give them anything. You just had to be you in the heart and truly live the life that is here for you. The magic, the wonder, and recognize it. And then you recognize that abundant flow of nature. You recognize the abundant flow of love. And in recognizing it, more and more of it, in a sense, is flowing now for all. For them to resonate. Because each one of us has that answer in our heart. And it's about assisting us in tuning in our hearts, not our minds. Your mind keeps going into a loop trying to figure this out and then telling others what to do in an old system that we're already free of. I don't get that.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's it right there, Mike.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's nothing you have to do here. All you have to do is just be. And once you get into this heart space and just accept it, life becomes relatively simple, does it not? I mean, you live from the heart. I mean, this isn't rocket science, boys and girls. It's nature for Lord's sake. And we're there. We have arrived. Here we are. Yippee-yi-yay, cow patty.
Yes, indeed. We are here. And we keep pretending like we're not.
I know.
Stop pretending like you're not here. This is what's here. Put your feet in the earth and share with me otherwise. You can still say, yeah, Mike, there's some BS going. Yeah, some people still caught up in that old belief system, spreading bullshit in different ways and forms, each unique to each individual.
That's still our test. That's still our test. Are we going to be distracted by the drama, right? So we can just keep clearing and being so clear that when things do come up, that we're not affected by it at all. We're not affected by the drama anymore. We see it. We see it for what it is, and that's not to not love the people who are bringing the drama, because there's that fear within them. They're creating and what would you call it? Spreading the drama because the fear within them. Wait a minute. You can't just live in love. There's all these problems. You know, you have to be distracted one after another. I mean, just on Facebook, the videos and the this person and this one has a new one out, and everybody's gone to that one, and then it's like, let's go over to here now, and all the distractions away from the truth of who we are. And that's where our power is, and that's where the change is.
Yep.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The devil is in the details. And just
ones.
It's just, see, the thing is, it's just, just like Colleen said, there's so many distractions, and see, the whole thing is there is no external source. You are the source. The source is you. It has been you all along, and until you accept it, I suppose you will always be distracted. Because it's a matter of acceptance, and you have to well, I mean, you don't have to do anything, but when you do, you will be given not only a new set of eyes, but your whole soul lights up, and everything becomes clear.
Yeah, no more
and
problems exist. You're not creating any. And so you realize what you were perceived as a problem before isn't, because it truly isn't.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They used to always say that, the worst that can happen, is that you die. Well, we all know that we carry on. We never die. So what is there to fear?
Exactly. We're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one, Colleen.
Yeah.
I'm happy, guys. Thank you. I got Venus here. The light has come. It's glowing on the horizon over here, beautiful colors. And then I got clouds, and then these clouds are built up around Venus shining right here. And she's reminding me, hey, Mike, I'm in this conversation too. I'm like, yes, I love you. I love you, sister. And we use this word for her, Venus. There's many other names for her that we associate with this being, that, the morning star, the evening star, that then we just depersonalize and say it's just a planet. Just like we say, oh, it's just a planet you're living on. Man, these ain't planets. That's the old fallacy again. And, yep. And so she's, playing peekaboo, and Cloud just popped over. But no, it's just beautiful that when you realize this is now, when we talk about true living, as Borean says, this is putting the wisdom into, this is the true action, is when you, wisdom is when you live this. Wisdom isn't just now you have this and you talk about it and you never do anything. Wisdom is when you actually live this now, or doing these things. And it's as simple as taking a walk in nature, smiling more, laughing more. Remember, we do all these things already. Don't discount anyone's infinite worth by thinking they ain't doing anything. They took a breath this morning. In my book, they did enough. You opened your eyes to this world? Welcome. You know what I mean? We put so much emphasis on what somebody's got to do. I'm like, man, that you even made it here? Bravo. Now that you want to choose to continue to be here, that's where we're all at right now. It's not like I was sharing earlier. It's not whether you're going to make it. It's not whether you're going to ascend. As I've shared, we've all done this already. What are you now choosing is to live in love or not. I'm not even going to give fear as the other option, because that's cleared here. And that's your choice to make what the other is. But for here, that's the choice coming for everyone right now. You're going to choose to live in love here in the heart or not. But no, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Thinking about this. This is a clear yes or no answer. And you can't choose the word or. Yes or no. What about the middle one? No, there ain't no middle one here. Yes, no. Choose. So.
Beautiful.
And remember, Coyote takes his own medicine. It goes for me. I make this choice also. It's like it's good for the goose, good for the gander. I'm one of the first to get, in a tent smacked around when I toe the line, so to say. Mom, is it this? How much further? Don't go any further, Mike. You know it's going to happen. Gotta go a little further. Mike, it isn't even, you know it's going to happen. Yeah, I'm not doing it to you. It's like my grandmother, my beautiful Irish, my mom's mom, my beautiful Irish lass, Irene. She would hold your hair and pull it. She wouldn't pull it, excuse me. She would grab your hair and hold it there, and you would naturally try to run away. Right? Or unnaturally. Actually, you would unnaturally try to. Because finally I was just like, if I stand still, I'm not going to feel any pain. I'm not going to hurt myself because my Nana made it clear. You're doing this to yourself. I'm just here. And I'm like, wow.
That's a good one.
So, yeah, I used to do this. I was just like, yeah, I'm not moving. And then she would look at me and go, you know what you did? Yep. You're going to own it? Yep. All right, deal with it. Thank you. What more can be said? And so this was happening. I don't need to cross the line and inflict pain on myself anymore. Thank you. Yeah, I know you weren't doing it to me to begin with. Thank you. That goes for you too, Grandma. Woo-hee! You know, because then we blame. We blame our mom. I watched it with my sisters. You stop blaming Mom. Fuck. You're old enough now. And there was no excuse before either. I'm not saying you couldn't do it, but there was no excuse. It's not justified. All right? Mom's got her own things to deal with, and all you moms know this. who happened to give birth this time around. Because I feel, you know, in our infinite beings, we all are moms. We all are everything. Well, hey, let's drop that sense of separation, eh? And, yeah. So let's get some mics open, and I'm very happy to sit here and listen in the heart with all of you, and I'm just so happy to share here and have that blessing in a way to do that and come to be together with who I truly feel is family, because this is the conversation in the heart that we're sharing. That's the soundboard. That's the... Hey, Colin. We come to this moment where it's beyond words, and we're like, you just did it, Morgan.
I love it. I love it. It's just a great place to be, and just living in sound, love, and truth. There's no other place to be. It's our true natural state. It's our true natural way of being, and it's beautiful. It's back. It's back, and it's refreshing, and yeah, whether y'all like it or not, or want it or not, just like you said, you know, love doesn't solve all the problems. Well, you just wait there, mister. You just have a little seat, and let me show you how it works, because it does. Love does solve all, and
right,
love and truth. Of course,
yeah.
Love and truth are synonymous. You know, they're two words. Love and truth are the same word. So it was beautiful how you know, for all you macho men that don't like the word love, well, substitute the word truth in there, and there you go. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and it's like love solves everything. Yeah, because love, in truth, dissolves all that does not resonate with it, quite naturally. And as we tune into that, as we say, that frequency of the heart, and we start resonating this out, that's what you watch in front of you. And you watch the magical and the mystical appear. Because you tuned into your higher, you tuned into your multidimensional being. You tuned in with your heart. That aligns, that tunes you into you, wholeness. And in that, if we're talking in a dimensional way, And if all the dimensions are here, well, then we're attuned to all, if we want to talk higher dimensions, just 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and we can keep going, but let's just talk wholeness, share wholeness here. We're tuned in with our multidimensional being, and in that, what people would normally call magic starts happening. I'm like, yeah, did you just see that happen? What, you think that happened because it was a 3D magic sleight of hand? No, man, that's true creator source being appearing in your life. Look, it's flowing.
It's where I live.
And it's happening all the time, too. And the reason why you didn't see it before is because you weren't in that space where you were able to see it. Yes. But it doesn't mean that it isn't there, and it's always there.
Yes.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
And
we're there, Mike.
The more we notice this and recognize it, guess what we get to do? More of it. But if you don't look at it and go, oh, wow, look what's right here, well, then, it disappears again in your consciousness.
It's a flow.
Right?
It's a flow, and it's continuous. And
right.
And if you don't stop and look and notice, you're gonna miss it. And
right.
If you're not in this heart space where you can quiet yourself and you can stop yourself to be in that space between the oil and water, you're going to miss it. It's just going to float right by you, and you're going to be sitting there thinking, well, gosh, I'm thirsty. I think I'm going to die of thirst over here, but yet you're staring at a river in front of you that's constantly flowing. And until you just accept that heart space, you are gonna die of thirst. Well, you're not gonna die of thirst, but you're gonna think you are.
Yes.
and it's all an illusion. It's all
Yeah, it's all a con. Instead of you,
it's all a con.
Shooting this, you bought the con again, and then talk like some. It's a high con too, because then you give all this like la la la, and I'm like, oh my, yeah. That's some crown chakra bullshit there. And
yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you're there, it's right here again. And and it's flowing, and so your awareness gets trapped in this con, and you forget that it's ever flowing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, you gotta find it, you gotta get it. No, I'm like, wait a second, lay down that con for a minute.
Yeah, those cons, they can look like those sparkling little gems to distract you, can't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
These are pearls of, what do we want to call them? Pearls of knowledge, or pearls of truth that, oh, no, I don't want to call it that. Masquerading as, these are, what could you call it, Pauline? It's like, but they're masquerading the truth. Because you will see it as separation again, even if it's just you against the world. This is why I said you come to martyr syndrome.
And there's so many of those.
Yeah. Mom's not a martyr. Just let you know. Yeah.
There's so many of those gems too, that those con gems that
I know.
Even things like astrology, those are tools, but they're also pulling and distracting. It's another level now. The tools have been here, and I've thought for quite some time, and I'm hearing more people also awakening to this, where I felt that even with the chakras, they're like a trap. It's a trap. It's another con. Mm-hmm. Now, that's a word that even mainstream, the chakras. The pineal gland, it's another one, because if you go and you're not in your body, you're not in chakras or pineal, you go back to the nothingness before you even took this form. You're not chakras or pineal gland or astrology. We create the stars and the planets. We are the creators.
Yes.
Pure light, pure photon. You are a pure light photon within yourself. Pure energy is what you are. And you're absolutely right, Colleen. You are not this physical, dense matter. We are making this physical, dense matter. We're creating it. Yes, it's a part of us, but it's not the source. The source is the energy. It's the light within you that is the source. And you're so dead spot on, Colleen, because people get so caught up into the details of all the tools and in the details and in the science of how it all works.
Then they start fighting about the details of the tools.
Yeah. The thing is, what's really resonating with me is that what Steve Mahone said a couple of weeks ago is that if I'm to believe that, and I've learned that everything is upside down, back to front. Everything is then? And I'm just resonating with what you were saying there, Colleen, about these distractions. The books you have to read, the knowledge you have to ascertain.
Yes, yes.
Bollocks.
It's putting more layers on that we have to keep working through. Right?
It's all bullshit. All of it. Anything and everything. Anything and everything external is bullshit. Complete 100% bullshit. The only true answer, the only truth is within you. And you don't need to read a book. You don't need to listen to a guru. You don't need to eat some special diet. You don't need to activate your pineal gland. You just need to go within yourself and listen, because your heart will never lie to you. You get into that heart space, it never, ever lies, ever. And you could live there for an eternity. And not know anything. And that's what the problem is. People, quote unquote, know too much. They have too much knowledge and not enough wisdom. We need to get away from knowledge, and we need to step into the wisdom of it all. It's almost as if that we just need to throw all these tools in the garbage can completely. And like what I used to do when I give drum lessons, people would come to me for drum lessons, and they bring over their entire drum kit, and I'd say no, we're just going to strip this down just to a bass drum and a snare. That's all I want you to play. That's all you need to play. That's all you need to use to create anything and everything with the drum kit. It's all based on around a bass drum and a snare drum. So throw all your books in the trash. Burn them all. I'm telling you, it's all bullshit. Everything and anything that you need to know is already in your heart. It's already there. It's been there all along. All you need to do is go in there and accept it. It's the acceptance that's the hardest part, and it's the details that are keeping you from accepting it. You keep talking,
the mind and quieting the body, and just allowing that the silence. That's another one that just pulls is the chatter, the mind chatter, is just to be able to sit in that sweet, sweet silence.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear what you said at the end, Mark.
Yeah.
You said something else there.
Yeah, I can only talk from my perspective, but the ego and the program runs quite deep from within. And
the one I looked at is it's this wounded ego, this wounded pride, and then it's this who wants to now join with me and play this loop. I described it to Borean the day before, how it goes around. And we were laughing. And I was like, what, do you see this cycle? Because, I've done it myself. It's like, oh, wow. And then, it's me against the world, and then it's only me, and then it's, and then me and like a few others, whoever who's, helping you to be that wounded ego. And I'm laughing. I'm like, do you guys see that? Yeah, okay. Good. Let's take that last one out. Yeah, earmuff. And it's this, it's the martyr.
It's the repeat, Mike.
Yeah.
The repeat.
And it's just like, oh my fuck.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll keep banging me head against the brick wall.
At least you recognize it.
Hey, it's a start.
Yeah. There you go. It's first step. Recognize that you're doing it. That's it. You recognize that you're doing it naturally. Now you're going to stop. Because now you broke the loop. Right?
And you've got to you got to honor your experiences and what's coming in front of you. I've said this before, because then the other people, if you allow it, then they want to discount your experience. So I know in the past when I've had different spiritual experiences, we were always told it's a good idea not to share those, because what happens is other people want to pick them apart. They want to say, oh, well, yeah, you thought that happened, or you thought you saw that. So it's just really honoring your experiences when you're in that deep space of love, like Mike was sharing, all the so-called supernatural experiences that you have. Honor that. And someone was saying about the skies are getting grayer, and this is what we're going into now. And I'm actually looking up at my sky, right? And my skies are getting bluer and bluer. They're getting more like when I was a kid, like the robin egg blue.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I went through that whole period of, for 10 years ago with the chemtrails and journaling them and calling everybody, the Air Force, the this, the that, what's gone on, and driving my daughter crazy. And I let all that go. And so my experience is the sky's getting bluer, the colors are more vivid. In fact, I'm seeing colors that I've never seen before. So everybody is experiencing their universe and their world within, right?
Yes. So if it's gray above you, and I've shared this many a time sitting in Hyde Park, walking around London, going, these gray skies are here because of you. And just because no, it's the weather. I'm like, no, you want to see a true creator being, like people are showing with orgone devices that they will share all around this world. Make them for free for you and give them to you if you want them. I'll give you links. Yeah. And you put it there, and they've already done it with some bigger ones, and it will clear the most gray, so chemtrailed, upper ionosphere trails, whatever you want to call it, all the different ways that you see distortion and what you might see this cloud, different types of clouds. It will make it crystal blue. And they're like, check it out. And then the guy who's, few of these, it's not just one guy, there's a few though who really perfected this. He said the next one is, everyone can do this by themselves with no so-called technology of their own, because it's all connected to the heart. And when you tune in with your heart, you can clear your whole environment around you. That's your power. Then you realize it's not just your whole environment. We have the ability to do it for the all here. And this is what's coming into being, truly. As Colleen shared, I'm like, this is what's happening, because we know This is the natural flow. That all this up in the sky can be cleared in a moment, in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need it back. I need it back. Oh, go ahead, Mike. Keep going.
Yeah, go on, please.
Well, I was just going to say I need to just back up what Colleen said is the sun. It just, I can only speak from my experience, but the sun has changed. It's completely different. It's completely new, and I'm seeing colors I've never seen before too, and I'm seeing a brightness and a clarity within our light structure here that I don't think I've ever seen, and maybe like Colleen said back when we were kids, maybe I remember the sky being so blue, but this is you stepping into that heart space and accepting what is already there again, and it
already here.
The beauty of this construct is so fabulous and so amazing that you have to, the only way you can experience it is in the heart space. It's the only way you can have eyes to see it. Otherwise, you'll never even, it's impossible.
Yes. Yeah, you're tuning it out. You're actually, your whole being is, but your attention in a way is, won't focus. You're still choosing not to focus on it.
Yes.
You're still playing that mind game, choosing to play that mind game, because everyone's a greater being. So it comes to a point. You're no longer at effect. You're choosing this. You can no longer play that someone else is causing me to do this. No, you're choosing this now. And us, if you want to talk about us, if like, oh, the way showers or the light workers, well, okay. Well, then it's our responsibility to remember this and start truly living. And when we do this, as Borean and Colleen have reminded, when we do this, everyone else gets to do this too. Just as because someone else has done something for me, and now I get to do that. And so as we know, instead of looking at the masses waiting for them to do some of these things, I'm like, why do you look at it like that, man? That's really a dualistic way of thinking. When we do this, we know the more we truly live and resonate in the heart, that everyone else gets to also. It's that pure sharing. Mom's like, yeah, man. And Mike, how do you know this? Because someone did it and shared it with me? Yes, Mike. Wonderful. So everyone's source doesn't start with just one or come from just one. Everyone is doing this naturally, and the more each one of us adds to it, the more it exponentially just flows and flows and flows throughout the universe.
Beautiful.
It's wonderful.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then, as John Lennon said, it was mind games the whole time. And I'm like, huh. And they're still imagining the Whore of Babylon and looking at the Pope and looking at whatever is being played on the latest world stage TV for your dramatic whatever. You're writing that script and they're acting it out. And you think they have the power. Well, you just friggin' wrote them another day of playing that bullshit role. Why don't you write them a new one? Yeah, Whore of Babylon resigned. He said, quit writing me into your script. I'm in heaven. Fuck off. If you think I'm the one who's doing this anymore.
Yeah.
She had enough, and I can tell you, she got put in the right place, like all of us did. Thank you, Mom, and Dad, and all. And like this, we go around spouting this stuff like it's real. I'm like, it ain't. So why are you pretending that it is for everyone else? But it's happening in the news, and that's fake, you said, right? So what's the thing? But the children are free and clear. They reminded us of this to get our heads out of our asses, unless you want to, go back to pure energy. And that's fine. We all are. So, like
but
this,
that's what makes...
I'm laughing. There's no problem. I'm like, here it is, clear as day. Ring that bell.
that's what makes our experience here so special, because we really are just pure light energy. But in this electromagnetic experience, we get to feel what it's like to be alive, because I really feel that this is not only is this our home, but this is heaven, because we get to experience the density of all the emotions and all the feelings and all the life that is here. We get to feel it and experience it.
Yeah.
Garden of Eden.
It's the Garden of Eden. It's here, and it has been all along.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Experience it. Live it. Love it.
Feel what you say. You know why? And because it was all about feeling, Borean. And I'm like, guys, when we truly express from our heart, the thinking is no longer getting away in our true expression. Because before thought, there was feeling. And we communicated clearly with each other. Beautifully clearly, before any of these words came into being. Became into use.
Mm-hmm.
And in this, now we are expressing our heart again, our true feeling, and we now know how to use these words without getting them distorted and confused to share this true expression with the heart. And it is wonderful. We're laughing. I'm like,
our intention has become crystal clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Whoosh. All right, so we got about 8 minutes into the rollover. The call-in number is 347-850-1929, and you can go Skype still. You can go Blog Talk, Gaia Sophia Dreaming. YouTube channel will be up very soon, Gaia Sophia Dreaming, featuring all. And wow, I'm just very blessed I'm blessed to be able to say thank you. I feel blessed to be able to say thank you. Wow.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much for all you do, my friend. I mean, you are if you coming on this radio show and just throwing your heart wide open, it's doing the world wonders, my friend. And we all love you very much, dude. And I don't know why I had to say that, but I had to say that.
Because we're home in the heart. We are home in the heart, truly, brother.
We're home in the heart, man. We're right there with you, brother. Right there with you, all the way. All in, baby. All in.
Who's all the way? It's to the core. You know it. I've said it all along. I'm about the core. And, I brought it right to all of us back into the core. That was the mission. Because then from here, man, there's nothing but clarity now moving forward. That's why I say, you want to jump ship, go ahead. But you got home. We brought you back. All of us together. Let me share with you. And now that we're here, if you don't want to live here, because this is what we're doing here. We're living. We're not doing that other whatever we described it as before. Let's just talk about right now, here in the ever-present moment. This is for the living. You can choose to live here, because this is for true living now here. And if you choose not to, well, what to say? There's nothing to say. I love you. There's not even nothing to put my attention or my focus on, because there's no separation. It's almost like it's okay. Where they go now is of their choosing. I don't have to think. They're going to hell now, Michael. They're going to that sandbox over there. Which planet they going to now? Or what are they going to get over here somewhere? Or which dimensional frequency band they're going to be so-called stuck in? I'm like, why are we even going to give that any mind? We don't. It's not of our concern because there's no concern there. We live here. There's no fear. What you choose to do, you choose to do. I ain't got no fear of you now making a mistake, going off somewhere. I just know it's not here in the heart, in the core. And if that's the acceptance, I'm like, so now that you're home, now that you're ascended, what do you want to do? You want to play some more of that drama? Okay. Bye. Because we know it doesn't happen here. So, I mean, it's not even bye. It's like, aloha. 555 Alvita here in the Hawaii Dream Time, sister.
All right. Aloha. I'm here.
Aloha.
Yes. I see Barbara didn't make it in. I texted her, but anyway, she'll catch us next time. When is the next show, Mike?
Well, hey, we're free to do it every day of the week now, man.
All right.
It's a day to day, you know. This is it. Alvita, the platform's opening. So,
all right.
whether, and I'll make it so like that, so that whether I'm here or not, and you guys want to tune in and make a group call, it's not even a group call. The show is going to be here. What am I going to say here? We're tuned into the heart. We're having this conversation always. And sometimes we record them like we're doing here to share with others. But it's always this conversation that we're always having the heart. Now, so-called later on in the day, we're always having this. And we're sharing that with all our galactic family, our stars, sisters and brothers. They're tuned in. They're in the heart also. Our ancestors, all of life. This is the conversation in the heart that we resonate in and we flow with. So we know it's always being shared. And so we can, so here it is for you, Alvita. 333 in the Hawaii Dream Time. Tune in.
Wow. Righty. 333. Gotcha.
It's a 9.
So that, there we go. That's what that so-called B. 333. And if you know, it's actually 3 represents love. When we sign something, we write 3. Me and my mom and dad. Just to let you know. It's all about the love.
Wow. I have that at my email address. 33. And you just so happen I just typed it and you saying it. Wow. Mentioning the 3s. We in sync, aren't we?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so beautiful. So the platform's expanding. Thank you guys for tuning in with Gaia Sophia Dreaming. Thank you, Blog Talk, lady. Yeah. And, you know, the platform's opening up. We're going to do some live. I know it's coming live and direct very soon. It's here. And we're going to expand on more of this soon. So thank you for tuning in with Gaia Sophia Dreaming, all the wisdom goddesses. Man, they have such deep love. Beyond deep. It goes beyond deep now. It's through and through.
Yeah.
You know, it's full. They have such a fullness of love with all, where there's no separation. And and there's nothing more to fear. Because when you know love is here, and the choices you can make can come from love now. Come with your heart. And that's the world that we now live in. because that's where we all come from now. Thank you for tuning in,
Love
guys.
is in the air.
Aloha, Mike.
Aloha. So we're into the recording.
Aloha.
So I'm just so happy you guys are here with me, because this is the conversation in the heart that I say it's always flowing beyond technology, beyond any station, beyond anybody thinking they control whatever the lip. And here we are. I'm like, Mike, just open the, you know, this whole world is ours to open, guys. Like, play. Here.
Oh, yeah.
Open it up. More for you to, like, hey, Florian, hey, Alvita. Yeah.
Time to have some fun. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. And that we will do. We are doing right now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're there, and we're gonna stay here, and we aren't going anywhere. I know I'm not. if anything, I'm headed to Hawaii to go surfing with Mikey.
Yeah. Because it's funny, you'll hear in some people, Alvita, right? And you'll hear this like, man, I want to get out. I mean, I know people, they've expressed this. I've expressed this before. I want to get out of here. I want to leave this planet. I'm sick of living here. You know what I mean? And then the next day, it's like, oh, it's all love. It's, oh, yeah, we're heaven on earth. And then I got to get off. I'm like, what the make a choice. Make a decision, because it's either this or it isn't this. Because we recognize where we are, home in the heart. And you guys keep one moment saying this, next minute saying that. Well, you know what? The choice is now made. You either chose to live here in the heart, or you're choosing, okay, to live somewhere fucking else. Bye. Aloha. Go do it already.
See you when I see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's home right here.
Yeah.
Home all day. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll let you know, all the star families, if you want to talk intergalactic, they're all coming, they're all here. They all came here.
Yeah.
Man. Our family, too. Man. Wow, it's beautiful. So I don't know where you're blasting off to, but okay. Go for it. Laughing. Check that one out. I don't know where are they going, but I don't know. You know it's going to be funny.
Right.
Not for them. When they come back, it's going to be funny. For them all.
Aloha.
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 It's Coral.
Hey, Coral.
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah.
Hi.
Aloha.
I came from the land of Oz again.
Yeah.
I've been listening to your radio broadcast, and I had to break away for just a minute because we're dealing with my mom, and she's getting, older, and she's going through the typical things that an aging parent would go through. But it's just funny, experiencing the family dynamic, because part of this awakening is that I've learned is that, my whole life I thought my mother was a paranoid schizophrenic. And I'm learning that a lot of these medical conditions can be overrated, sometimes not even true, And, my mother is one of those who may have some bits of it, but hey, don't we all?
Right.
I mean, for a while there, we thought that, it was just all in our heads or in some loved one's head. But, we learned soon in the awakening that, maybe it's not. But I do have family members who are in charge of her now, because I live out of state, and my other sister, we're the two more, awakened in our own way, compassionate ones who, are understanding, what mom is going through, but just too far away to do anything at this point. So the two that are in charge is a brother who's law enforcement and a sister who's a nurse. And so the dynamic that I'm experiencing right now.
Yeah.
And it's taking everything in my power to not to not go there, to go what they would consider is off the deep end because they feel like they're doing the right thing by committing her. And we're saying, well, wait a minute. But you know what? The beauty is, and you guys have brought it back home to me, what I'm realizing is that, you know what? She's going to be there. She's being evaluated right now. And she's in perfect hands. She's in hands with herself. My mother is the most brilliant woman. I mean, she was kind of like the character of Mel Gibson in Conspiracy Theory, but everything that he compiled and gathered up together, she did by hand. She wrote by hand. She's written scripts. She's built cities. And back then, when we were younger, we didn't understand what all that meant, what was Mom going through. She was awakening herself. and she's triggered the rest of us, and we're all going through it now. I went through mine in December last year. I think a few of you have kind of heard my story on that, and I'll be sharing it at later times. But, you know, she's just this incredible woman that, you know, has seen so much right inside of her, within her. And my family, they don't understand it because they've been conditioned to this world, you know. And so, of course, they're going to do, you know, they're trying to do what they think is right based on the medical profession, drug her up, you know. And my sister and I were always trying to prevent that, but drug her up and put her somewhere where she can't be a problem, you know. And all I could do was just you know, try to stay as calm as possible, because usually when I talk, that's why you don't hear me much at the table, I get overexcited because I'm still in the newer aspect of awakening, and all this information is flooding in. And so it's better for me to write about it. It's better for me to journal about it. It's better when I text my family, you know, especially the ones that talk to them.
Right, just to assist yourself here, Coral. You're not in the new. This is just, for so many people, I'm like, man, in each of our own unique way, we've gone through so many different things, some in more extremes than others. But when we look at this and what you're describing, I'm like, man, that ain't somebody new to this. That is, for me, I'm like, thank you. That's huge in terms of somebody and be able to recognize that and realize, all right, I got to be calm here. Let's look at this, and how does this get really cleared? But I must admit, Mike, I do have a tendency to go overboard. I do. I get excited, like Richie does, you know? I get excited, and I'm like, well, you don't understand. This is your soul on the line. And, you know, I get crazy with it, and it's like, okay, let me just write. Let me just check. Yeah. Sometimes, you know, using technology is better for some of us because I get carried away. I do. And it scares people away, you know. So I was very happy to learn, you know, hear you guys today. I mean, the message has been coming through constantly through all, you know, of, you know, the people that I trust and listen to is to get silent, get quiet. Yes. And in that silence and in that quiet, I've learned that through writing, through journaling, through texting to my brother instead of getting on the phone talking to him, it makes better sense. Right. Because I'll go off on a tangent and start telling him about, you know, the work he's involved in. You know, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to get off topic here, but I'm still trying to make sense of everything. So yes, I am glad that I'm at the table here. I'm glad that everywhere that I look and everywhere that I focus, the message is letting go of, you know, all these notions of right and wrong, letting go of all these notions of what people used to think that they should do with their loved ones is incorrect. And that there's a healing that has to go on. And I mean, and in a lot of ways, because my mom is very difficult, she has been all our lives, she's been that way. But I know that a lot of this reaction is emotion. I know a lot of this reaction is basically everyone harboring,
this resentment of things that she did because she knew no better at the time.
Right.
And that's because there was not a clearing that went on with them. I call it, for me, it's called clearing. They wouldn't understand that term. But that's because that's the new language that I'm adopting, you know. So that's what I mean. You know, you guys know exactly what I mean when I say a clearing, you know, meaning get all that stuff out. Let yourself remove all that crap out of you so that new information can come in and the proper information can come in. So that's all I have to say. I'm just taking a break and wanted to chime in and let you know that I am glad to be here with you guys today. I want to say hi to everyone, Colleen, Borean, Alvita, and Aloha, Mike. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble.
Thank you so much for sharing, Coral, because you are doing an amazing job. As long as you are just coming from your heart and coming from that heart space, it doesn't matter if it's on paper. It doesn't matter if it comes out of your loopy mouth. It doesn't matter. If you're coming from the heart, my friend, it's all gold. It's all pure gold. And you are transforming your world. I could feel you literally transforming your world where you're at right now. So welcome home. Glad to have you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Aloha, Coral. Thank you for being here.
Aloha. Thanks.
Thank you for sharing, Coral.
Trying to take a photo. The beauty that's shining forth through here, and I realize it's more than a reflection of what you guys, what we're tuning in here. It's really, I see the light shining. It's like, wow, it's this beam of light going through the clouds now. It's the sun down there. But as we recognize the sun being synonymous with the soul, it's being our light now, our heart light shining through the sun in resonance, and you'll see this beauty that we'll say in nature, where beams of light just bursting through the clouds.
And you know what's so interesting about this whole thing is because of who I listen to, and I'm very careful of, you know, I'm learning to be more careful of the information I take in. And I heard you mentioning about the galactics. That's where before the huge, you know, self-perpetuated DMT experience I had, you know, I was following the galactics, and there was something about it that was always driving me insane because it just sounded so familiar. Well, of course it did. It's coming from the same source that caused all the heartache and issues and confusion that I had had my whole life. And now it's like, even with this situation, which used to be so difficult for me, one of the things that I was taught during my dark night of the soul, which lasted for 11 days, was on one of those days, I was awakened for like about a week at early morning with a voice saying to me, "Go see your mother." Now, this is when I lived in Atlanta with my mom. I was looking after her at that point. And he said, "Go see your mother." And I'm like, "Why?" And he said, "Because she's going to die." This was me now, mind you. I knew it was me. But at that time, I didn't know, so I rushed to go see. And, you know, she was fine. But what I noticed was every evening, you know, it would kind of walk me through all of these fears that I was always worried about throughout my life. Through this 11-day process, I was walked through all the fears, like, my mom's going to die, I'm going to die, this is going to happen, someone's going to attack me, blah, 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 blah. And so it was walking me through all these fears to show me that it's all in your head. This is all you. And it felt like it was playing a joke on me every time, because I'd be like, is she okay? What's going to happen? If it just go see her. And it's like, okay, but why? What's going on? And I'd get there and she'd be fine. And then there was one particular day, because, like I said, she's very difficult to deal with, that I would always get this knot in my stomach when she'd start up with some of the things she'd talk about. It would be like, "Mom, stop. I can't take it." Do you know that in one of the clearings that happened during that experience, I had literally felt every whatever resentment, anger, blame, whatever that I had towards my mom from a young adult because that's when it starts to kick in, we blame them, or a teenager. It was removed. It was taken from me. It was removed. And so that next day, or like 2 or 3 days later, because I would go through a clearing every night, I went to see her again. Go see your mom. But they didn't say if she was going to die. I just said, Jill, you need to go see your mom every day until we say no more. I was like, okay. So I went to see her, and she started up, and I was trying to feel for that knot in my stomach, but it wasn't there. It was gone. It's like it removed whatever that annoying thing that I had going on with my mom was just totally removed, and I did it myself.
Yes.
This is the amazing thing that we are capable of doing to our own psyche, our own physical vehicle. It's incredible. And I still don't feel it. So even with everything that's going on, my mind still defaults back to past and growing up and all the issues we had as a family. But my body is in total, but my vehicle is in complete control of what's happening right now. So I just wanted to kind of share that seeking that process of elimination of all those useless emotions is a good thing.
Beautiful.
Yes, thank you for sharing. You helped so many. Great. Great job.
Yeah, you feel that, Alvita? I feel that. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel that one.
Realize.
Thank you.
Feels good to talk about this stuff. There's nobody, when I talk to my family about it, even my sister, she is very religious. She's on the, in that spectrum of her awakening. And, but we still are on the same, because we've always been very close. But she just is on the more religious Hebrew text path. So, but it's so funny because a lot of the things that I share with her, she's fascinated with, and she definitely, we'll talk once a week. A week later, she's found somewhere in her exploration of truth and spirituality, she's found kind of like that truth, even though I'm not sharing it from the aspect of something outside of me.
So,
the difficult part is to learn to tolerate, and accept people where they're at. That's my challenge these days.
Yeah. Definitely have to meet them at their level, that's for sure. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
You know what level it is. It's the heart.
Yeah.
That's where
That's
it is. Otherwise, we're not meeting. That's the thing. How do we meet these people? Which level are they going to go? Look, it's not stooping to their level or going up to that level. And you made it just really beautiful in the sharing, Coral. How she's in that frequency, that's her spectrum of lessons. It doesn't mean she doesn't, that's where she needs to receive it from for whatever moment that she has for herself. Don't look at it as a negative in terms of she's got to, once she drops that program, then she has to do all this other stuff. No, that's the lens she's choosing to see this through. And as that dissolves, she's in the heart like all of us.
Absolutely.
And so this is where we do connect with everyone. And this is what we're reminding. Otherwise, we didn't connect. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So we're 19 minutes in a row over here. We can flow a little bit longer here. There's a few things I got to do here before I got a few other a few other things I get to I get to do.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for just sharing this beautiful day with me, and all. I'm just really happy. I get to start my day having this conversation again.
Yeah, got a brand new show. You got an awesome do-over, you know. So here we go.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in with Gaia Sophia Dreaming with all of us.
Yeah.
I mean all of us because we're all in the heart. I just thank you so much.
Sure.
All right.
Aloha all.
Aloha. I mean, Colleen, if there's anything you'd like to share, and Alvita, for sure, please. If there's anything you've been wanting to share, please do.
I was just going to say that my dogs have been waiting patiently. They're ready for a hike up in the canyon.
Beautiful. We are too.
Great.
So I just share aloha with everyone again, and beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Alvita, my dear.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Yes, I just like to say, awesome, great. Glad everybody showed up. We found each other once again. You know, we got dropped from one spot, but we're in a better place now. You know, all on purpose, all on a better, higher purpose. So, yes. Let's see, everybody. Aloha.
Aloha. All right, we tune forward soon.
All right.